regret will haunt you more than failure. First, let's break this down by thinking about the word failure. I have decided to no longer use this word. Now it makes sense for this lesson to explain this overall concept that I'm about to give you. I have defined failure as the refusal to move forward. And so in most situations, when we decide to get up and keep moving forward, we haven't failed and it wasn't a failure. Now, there are certain situations in which you have to quit something because it's no longer healthy, it's no longer serving you. That's in a different bucket. There are also in certain situations where things just get really hard and things are lonely and things are difficult, whether you're in business, sport, podcasting, and you just have to grit it out through those really tough moments. You just got to crawl, walk, whatever you can do, you got to grit it out. So there are some moments we want to quit and we want to grit, and those are in a separate bucket. But just overall life experiences, if you refuse to move forward, then yes, potentially it was a failure because you didn't learn anything, you didn't grow from it, you didn't keep getting back up and move forward and iterate and review and then continue to execute or improve or assess or whatever the case may be. But it can't be. It just cannot be a failure if you decided to move forward, if you learned something from it, if you grew from it, if you got stronger because of that obstacle, that challenge, or that setback. And so if we frame failure like that, going into sort of any situation, especially when we're a beginner at something or we're not very good at something yet, or we're just starting out at something, or we're a young person heading into the workforce or a young athlete, whatever it is, if we frame failure like that, we never define ourselves as a failure or failing. We just say that's a mistake. I'm going to reload and keep getting back after it. And so if we think about this first lesson like that, with that frame of failure in mind, then we go back to the lesson of regret will haunt you more than failure, which basically means not even trying will cause so much more resentment and bitterness than falling short. It absolutely always will. You never know if you can unless you try. So the whole idea of being in the arena is this number one lesson. You gotta get in the arena. You gotta get some blood, sweat, and tears. You gotta get knocked down and get back up and knocked down and get back up. Because that idea of trying and giving your best effort is always gonna be more fulfilling than just thinking, oh, well, what if? And so you have to get into the arena. You have to make that decision. The hardest part of anything is getting to the starting line and making that first step. And so that is always going to be the hardest thing to do, but also the most important thing to do. And so regret will haunt you more than failure or falling short or not achieving, the pinnacle of whatever you're trying to achieve. But knowing that when you take your very last breath on this earth, that you gave everything you had. You fucking tried. You said, yes, I absolutely went all in, capitalized all in, and I really went for it. That's enough. And you never know what can happen. You never know what can happen. Something great, I guarantee something great will happen, because the majority of people will not even get to that starting line and will not even make that first step, because they're worried about looking like an idiot or taking the beginner steps or looking like a fool. All of these things are just an inevitable part of trying to be great at something, whatever that is. And so get to that starting line, take that first step, and see where it can take you, because full effort equals full victory, always, all the time. And remember that frame of failure.